Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the CEO of Hemlane. How you doing, Dana?
I'm great. Thanks for having me again.
I got a topic that frankly I've never brought up with anyone, so I'm bringing this up to you first. And this is really about the growing trend of what I'll call corporate landlords, right? Wall Street, big money, buying entire communities from builders, really moving into the single family area.
Yeah.
Right. Historically, they've been multifamily, Class A assets, all of that. But they're coming, right? They came in 2010 at the bottom of the market. They bought a bunch of old stuff. Now they're buying brand new stuff direct from builders. I just wanted to highlight, I think corporate landlords ultimately are going to lose,
Yeah.
and mom and pop are going to win. It may not feel that way today, but I thought maybe we would bounce this around like a game of ping pong, go 2 or 3 rounds. As the guest, you can go first. So why are corporate landlords going to lose long term? Mom and pop will win.
So the first thing I think is on the technology side. So traditionally, a lot of these corporate landlords had technology that the small mom and pop did not have. Advertising to more rental listing websites, having data that enabled them to be able to price it better. But those days are over. Nowadays, you as a small mom and pop landlord have the same types of technology. And also you'll know your market better because you have the technology that they have coupled with, you probably walked your market, you know the streets, you know the blocks, you know certain things that will sell it. And the corporate landlords don't have that. They only have that technology. Now you both have the technology and the inside knowledge and the local knowledge of your market. And I believe combining those two together is a winning strategy to actually win and be able to market and place qualified tenants into your property time and time again.
Yeah, the biggest one for me, and this is going to come and smack corporate landlords pretty soon, is the advantage they had is access to cheap capital that you and I can only dream of, right? So congratulations, money rained down on fools. You've had a good 2-year run. Well, in the future, your bloated overhead, your layers of management is going to add costs that crush you. We are heading into a recession. It could be a couple of years, right? Stagflation for certain, recession possible. And it is the mom and pop landlords who are more intimate. They'll adjust quicker. You are frankly going to have executives who lie to you because, again, they want to save their jobs. These corporate bureaucratic, house landlords, they're going to get hurt, crushed, and they're not even going to know for like 9 because they report quarterly. They're not going to know they're going to be 90 days late and have like 80% collection and, 15% vacancy. And I'm going to just smile. They're going to have they're going to grind, people who move out with repair costs. They're going to be dragged into court. These greedy SOBs had their time. It's changed. Now it won't happen immediately, but I've been in this game a long time. It is coming. And 2-3 years from now, they're going to be like, well, that was fun. We're going to go do something else because that's just too expensive. It's basically what happened in 2010. They came in and bought housing, which was 50 years old, that was destroyed. They fixed it up. It was great when prices doubled. Now the stuff's starting to break again. They're like, whoa, we don't want old stuff. We want new stuff. Wall Street is so predictable. They're full of bureaucrats and expensive, district manager and VP and EVP and all these crazy overheads that have no incentive except to keep their job. It's not going to end well. And in a couple of years, we're going to see it. But that's my big, bold prediction for these. So just throw that out there.
I couldn't agree with that with this institutional capital coming in and like low interest rates and then basically saying this is fantastic. I have money's flowing in. We've got low interest rates for 30 days. And people thought like, oh, there'll be a large part of the market. But like, as you and I know, of the single 16 million or 17 million single family homes that we have today, they only have about like 300,000 of them.
Yeah.
And I don't
2%,
see that changing now, getting larger, especially with now this capital not flowing freely. And you're right, with you, it's just direct, really easy. That it's like multiple layers of different things.
God.
And that actually goes to my next point, to some extent of vacancy and vacancy rate. So what they will do on renewals is they use their numbers and they use what I mentioned about the data that they see out there, and they'll just have these automatic renewal reports that say, okay, we're going to, bring it up to market rent or just right there. And tenants take it or leave it. And what will basically happen is as a percentage of their portfolio over time, that vacancy will be higher than you as a smaller mom and pop if you can control it correctly. And they won't know because they basically can't figure out, because they have such a large portfolio, is this tenant moving because I priced it too high and too close to market that I gave them that incentive to move, or something else. And they will nickel and dime on everything to the tenants. And when they nickel and dime on everything, tenants are much more likely to not have a relationship and just want to move and say, you know what, you're bringing it up to market rate, I'm going to move to the apartment complex next door. And so I think overall, from the tenant perspective, they'll lose out because they will see more turnover than the smaller mom and pop.
Yeah, the next one is really a lesson that I hope all of these corporate landlords take from Zillow, and I know they won't, but it's pretty simple, right? I've had luxury of poking around people selling, iBuyer selling to Zillow before Zillow pulled out, and specifically in the Phoenix market. And a couple of times, flippers who had flipped in products sold to Zillow, done. And because Zillow had their standards, right? If the paint wasn't the right color, it was off. It was, instead of eggshell, it was off-white or whatever. They would send in their crews to paint again, right? So all they did is they had their standards, but again, all of these layers of stupidity.
Yeah.
And these people are like a painter. What is their job? They get paid to paint. Do they really care if they're putting off-white over eggshell? Nope. Painting job's painting job.
They won't push back. Yeah.
No, it's like, great. I'm in. So again, these corporate landlords are going to see their costs get bloated because of layers of management and the disconnect. Mom and pops aren't going to do that, right? If mom and pop comes into a building and the carpet is pulled up in the corner, they're just going to stick it back down. Where others would be like, "Well, carpet's got to go." I mean, the carpet could be shampooed and cleaned and no problem, right? You're going to spend I don't know, $1,500 on carpet. So again, all these corporate landlords, it's going to be so fun to watch them just fall under the weight of stupid expenses, layers of management. And, I look forward to the day just getting crushed. So let's do one more each. What's your last one?
Right. My last one is the uniqueness of being a small mom and pop. You don't want to go too unique. Like you don't want your whole house to have walls and sides.
Orange. It's all orange.
I was just thinking orange and then red. I actually do have a friend who has an orange. All of his walls are orange. And he just asked me if I knew someone to rent the place.
Man, I have to wear sunglasses inside.
Yeah, totally. I do have an example of that. But I do think the uniqueness, when you have a corporate landlord, to your point, it is, even if it's single family homes, they all look exactly the same. There's no uniqueness to it. You might have some things that are a little bit more quirky, where you have this door handle is like this, you can go to Anthropology and get like, these little different things. But whatever it may be, you have some sort of uniqueness to it. And I do believe that tenants, while they want something that is up to date, right? They do want that, especially based on the rental rate, but
yeah,
they want something that's up to date. They don't want something that's broken. They want something that just works, that they live in. They also, those types of things can help differentiate yourself and make it where it can, a renter would say, yeah, this is a bit of more of a unique experience. And you can do that as a landlord, and as a corporation, they are not going to do that. It's going to be the same cookie cutter, color across everything, same floors across everything. They are going to take this just standard approach to it. And again, this is someone's home, and a lot of times people want their home to be slightly different. So as long as you don't go to the extent of orange colors,
orange is not good.
Yeah, you might be able to get a little bit creative with things, of how you paint things, how you do DIY things, the lamps that you use, or light fixtures and stuff like that, to make it a tiny bit more unique, still attractive to everyone, but more unique than the institutional investor.
Yeah. So my final one is finally that reputation matters, right? Corporate landlords, especially in new developers, are very new. It happened to happen in the last 2 years where vacancies are remarkably low. But here's the deal. as the next 2 years go by, stagflation, recession, these review sites are going to start to make a difference. They're going to start to see, hey, so-and-so ground me for $6,000. It should have been one. They raised rents. They did this. They did that. They nickel and dime me. All these horror stories. Again, if you know anything about sales, negativity spreads fast, right? One person tells 10, where good news is kind of reverse, right? One tells 100 or whatever the ratio is. But the idea is this negativity is going to spread. And when you have a choice and you're going to go look at a review site, you're not going to go to a community with hundreds of negative costs and not listenings and all of that. You're going to go to the mom and pop. Even if the price is the same, you're going to go to the mom and pop. And again, I think mom and pop will be a little cheaper. So I think these big corporations are about to lose a lot of money in a couple of years, frankly, because of stupidity. And they are egotistical, and they had the rule of the land. They could borrow it basically one in a 6% adjusted returns, a 600%. They should have gone nuts. Yeah. Party's over, and we'll see what happens. So Dana, where can people find you?
Yeah, go to www.hemlane.com. We are built for smaller mom and pop, not the institutional. If an institutional uses us, the system is not designed for them. So really to help provide you with the best experience and provide you with all the technology to manage your properties, and helping with best in class practices, and giving you that upper hand with everything we just mentioned. Yeah,
I would tell you to go to hemlane.com, play with 30-day trial, tell them you came from one rental at a time, you get 20% off. But the whole idea for me is go practice being a landlord, see what we talked about, see how I really do believe 2 years from now, mom and pop wins. The corporate landlords will be off doing something else. They'll, I don't know, be selling you SPACs or corporate takeovers or who knows what, but it won't be single family homes. Dana, thanks for your time.
Perfect. Great. Thanks for having me.